In the last lecture, we have completed to the user machinery step 3 of the estimating and costing. In today's lecture, we are going to see the brickwork. Actually, I have shown the brickwork also, but still, before the deductions and all these things, we start with the brickwork. In brickwork also, first of all, we are going to work the length of the long wall as well as the length of the short wall. So initially, the center to center distances are 9.6 and the thickness or the width of the wall is 0.3 meter. So the length of the long wall is given by the formula center to center distance plus 1 width of the item. So here the center to center distance we have worked as a first step is 9.6 meter and the width of the item is 0.3 meter. So the length of the long wall will be 9.9 meter respectively. Okay. And in the same manner, we are going to calculate the length of the short wall. So the formula for the length of the short wall is length of the short wall is equal to center distance minus 1 width of the item. So here I have taken it. The center to center distance is 4.3 meter. Secondly, the width of the item, that is the width of the brickwork is 0.3 meter and the length of the long wall is 4 meter. We have calculated, sorry, short wall is 4 meter. Now we are going to calculate the quantity. So the number of long walls are 2 as shown here. 2 number of long walls. The length of the long wall we have calculated as 9.9 meter. I have taken it here. It is 9.9 meter. Next is the width of the item is 0.3 meter. Width of the item is nothing but the width of the brickwork. It is 0.3 meter. Next is the height of the brickwork. Height is nothing but the distance or the vertical distance from the plinth to the bottom of the slab. It is 3 meter. They are given to us. We can refer the section and from the section we know that the height of the brickwork is 3 meter. After just multiplying it, what we are going to get? It is 2 into 9.9 into 0.3 into 3. The answer is 17.82 cubic meter. How much is the answer? It is 17.82 cubic meter. Next comes to the short wall. So the number of short walls are 3. Which are those short walls? AD is equal to BE is equal to CF. These are the 3 short walls. After that, the 4 is the length of the short wall. Here, see here. We have calculated it already. So I am just going to put this value here as the length of the short wall. Next, the width of the brickwork is no doubt 0.3 meter and the height of construction of the brickwork is 3 meter. You have to just multiply with these 4 variables. Automatically, we'll get the answer 3 into 4 into 0.3 into 3 will give us the 10.8 cubic meter as the quantity of brickwork of the short wall. Next, which we are going to see is the total brickwork. How to calculate it? The total brickwork is quantity of long wall and the quantity of short wall. The quantity of long wall is 17.82 plus 10.8 will give us the total quantity of 28.62 cubic meter. Now you know that on the construction site, all the things are required in the terms of brass. So just divide this 28.62 by 2.83 to convert the quantity in cubic meter to brass. So 28.62 divided by 2.83 will be 10.11 brass. In this manner, by using very simple steps, we are going to calculate the quantity of brickwork. Now see here, if we just observe this room or your home also, you are going to see that there are number of doors as well as number of windows. First of all, we are going to deduct the doors. While constructing any room or while constructing any structure, only the brickwork is done excluding the quantity of that door as well as the quantity of the window. So while calculating or while finding out the quantity of brickwork, what we have done is we have directly multiplied the length of the long wall with its width and its height. So what is the problem is? The problem is there is no need of construction where opening is needed. So where where opening is there, the doors are the openings as well as the windows are the openings. Okay, so for first of all we are going to see what we have to do for the doors. So the deductions for openings, see this heading as the deduction for openings. Here I'm showing with the help of cursor. First of all, for the doors, how many number of doors are there? There are totally three number of doors. Okay, we have seen the plan in that for two rooms there are totally three number of doors. So I am written here three number of doors. Secondly, the width of the door is 1 meter. Next, length of the door is 1 meter, the width is 0.3 meter, and the height of the door is, as per as code, it is 2.1 meter. So just multiply this total to get the quantity of deduction for door. How much it will be? It will be 1.89 cubic meter. So here we have completed the calculation of the door. Now we'll go for the windows. Okay, here there are windows. How many number of windows are there? Again, there are three number of windows. Here there are three number of windows. The length of the window is no doubt 1.5 meter. They have given it in the given data. Secondly, the width of the window will be again 0.3 and the height of the window will be 1.2 meter. Here see here this width is actually not the width of the window, but it's we have to take the width of the brickwork because we are going to deduct it. Okay, from the total brickwork we are going to deduct this window. So we have to take the thickness of that brickwork, which is nothing but the 0.3. Thickness means width. Okay, so just multiply these four variables. 3 into 1.5 into 0.3 into 1.2 will get 1.62 cubic meter as a deduction for window. Now, if you observe the plan or if you observe the section, you are going to see the lintels over the doors and windows. Why these lintels are necessary? These lintels are necessary to carry the load coming from the above wall without any disturbance to the windows. Otherwise, what will happen? The window frames will fail. So to avoid this, we have to provide the lintels over the doors as well as over the windows. So here see, first of all, we are going to calculate the lintels over the window. Now, if you observe, the length of the window is 1 meter. Okay, but what we have to do is we have to provide the end bearings of 0.1 meter on both sides. For that purpose, I have shown here the calculation as length is equal to 1, that is the length of the window, plus 2 end bearings, that is 1 plus 2 into bracket 0.1. So the length will be 1.2 meter respectively. So here I have written the same calculated length as 1.2 meter. After this, what you have to do is you have to multiply again with the width of the brickwork, that is 0.3 meter. Width of brickwork is equal to width of the lintel, no doubt. Thirdly, the thickness of the lintel is 0.1 meter. The thickness is nothing but it is 0.1 meter. So just multiply it. You are going to get the answer as 0.108 meter. In the same way, we have to calculate the quantity of lintel over the windows also. So how many windows are there again? There are three number of windows and the length of the window is also actually 1.5 meter. But here if you see these calculations which I have just used with the highlighted with the help of the cursor, 1.5 meter plus again 2 end bearings. So 1.5 meter plus 2 end bearings of 0.1 meter will give you the total length of the window as 1.7 meter. Okay, so there are three number of windows here. I will show here three number of windows. Just multiply it with the length of 1.7. The width of the lintel is again 0.3 meter, whereas the thickness or the depth of the lintel is 0.1 meter. You are going to get the total quantity of lintel above the window as 0.153. Now what we have to do is we have to find out the total deduction. So just go on adding it. 1.89, that is the this 1.89 plus 1.62 plus 0.108 plus 0.153. So the total answer will be 3.771 cubic meter. What will be the total answer? 3.771 cubic meter. This is the quantity of deduction which you have to deduct from the initially total brickwork. So the net brick masonry is equal to the total masonry minus deduction. So we have calculated the total masonry as 28.62 cubic meter. Just see here. It's very simple. Here it will be 28.62 28.62 minus 3.771. How much will be the answer? Now let us see here. Let us calculate here. So 28.62 minus 3.771 minus 3.771. It is 24.849. How much it is? 24.849 cubic meter. Now here we have calculated it in the cubic meter. I will just write here in the form of brass. Just divide 24.849 divided by 2.83. It will give us directly the quantity of brickwork, net brickwork in brass. It will be how much? 8.78 brass. In this way, by using the very simple steps, it is very easier to us to calculate the brickwork with deduction for the walls, that is the lintels, doors as well as windows. Now next quantity which we are going to see is of the quantity of slab. Now if you observe the slab, how to calculate the quantity of slab, it is also very simple. Now here I am going to make few changes like this. Instead of 1 to 4, I will write here 1 is to 1.5 is to 3, so that the concrete which is produced will be of M20 grade. As per the IS code, we have to use the minimum strength of concrete, or the minimum mix which is to be used is M20, that is the concrete having the minimum compressive strength of 20 Newton per mm square. Okay, so first of all we are going to see about the roof slab. Okay, for that purpose we are going to first of all find the total length as well as the total width of the whole plan. So the total length will be 0.3 plus 5 is the length of the first room, plus 0.3 is nothing but the junction in between, the junction wall in between the two rooms, plus here it will be 4. 4. So how much will be? It will be 5.3 plus 5, it will be 5.3 plus 0.3, it will be 5.6 plus 4, 9.6, and this 0.3 it will be totally 9.9 meter. How much it will be? 9.9 meter. 9.9 meter will be the length of the slab, whereas the width of the slab will be 0.3 as usual, plus how much is the width of the room, each room? The width of the each room is 4 meter. Here I will write it as 4 plus 0.3. So the total will be 4.6 meter. I will say it is 4.6 meter. So here the total slab will be, number will be 1, and here the length of the slab will be 9.9 meter, whereas the width of the room or the plan will be 4.6 meter, and the thickness of the slab, you have to see the section. From the section we know that the thickness of slab is 0.12 meter, that is 120 mm. So just multiply it to get the total slab. How much it will be here? I will just show you. So the number will be no doubt 1 multiplied by 9.9 is the length of the slab, multiplied by 4.6 is the width, and multiplied by 0.12 is the thickness or the depth of the slab. It is 5.46 cubic meter. 5.46 cubic meter. In this manner, very easily it is possible to find out the total quantity of the slab. Secondly, we'll go for the lintels over the doors and the lintels over the windows. How many lintels are there? As the number of doors is, how much it is? No doubt there are 3 doors. So 3, I have taken here the 3 as the number, whereas the length of the door is 1 meter. But actually we are going to provide a 0.1 meter endeavoring on the both sides. So 1 plus 0.1 plus 0.1 will be 1.2 meter, which we have taken here. In the same way, the width of the lintel will be 0.3 meter and the thickness or the depth of the lintel is 0.1 meter. So just multiply it to get the total quantity of the lintel over the door. So it will be 3 into 1.2 into 0.3 into 0.1. It is 0.108. The same thing we have to consider for the windows. There are 3 number of windows, no doubt. After that, the length of the window is actually 1.5 meter. 1.5 meter plus 0.1 end varying on the both sides will be 1.5 plus 0.1 plus 0.1. It will be 1.7 meter, and the width of the lintel will be again 0.3 meter and the thickness is 0.1 meter. So just multiply this, you will get the quantity of lintel over the windows. How much it is? 3 into 1.7 into 0.3 into 0.1. It will be 0.153 cubic meter. After this, what you are going to do is we have to see about the total beam that is required below the slab. So how to calculate it? Number will be 1, no doubt. So the out first of all you should be able to calculate the length. Okay. So how to calculate the total length of the beam? See here, length is equal to 2 into center to center distance of long wall plus 3 into center to center distance of short wall. And how much it will be? It is also very simple. It is will be equal to 2 into bracket 9.6 is the length of the long wall, center to center distance of the long wall, plus 3 into bracket 4.3 is the center to center distance of the short wall, and it will be equal to, I'll just calculate it. Okay, I'll just calculate in front of you. It is a very simple. 2 into 9.6 will be 19.2 plus 4.3 into 2, 4.3 into 3, because there are 3 number of short walls. 12.9 plus 19.2 is 32.1 meter. So the total length of the beam will be 32.1 meter. 32.1 meter. Okay. In this way, very easily it is possible to us to calculate the actual length of the beam also. So just put these values here. Okay. Total number of beam will be 1. Here I have written 1. The length is 32.1. The width is again 0.3 meter, as well as the depth is also 0.3 meter. So how much will be the total quantity here? The total quantity will be of the beam 31 into 32.1 into 0.3 into 0.3. It is 2.889 cubic meter. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to find out the total quantity of RCC. How much it will be? You have to just add all these things. Okay, so after addition, it is possible to us to actually find out the total quantity of RCC work for our building. So it is, first of all, for the roof slab, it is 5.46, 5.46 plus 0.108, 0.108 plus 0.153 plus 0.153, and at last plus 2.889. It will be 8.61 cubic meter. How much it will be? 8.61 cubic meter, no doubt. But you have to convert it into the brass. Okay, you have to just convert it into brass, divided by 2.83. 8.61 divided by 2.83 will be 3.02 cubic meter. How much it will be? It will be 3.0 3.02 brass. In this manner, very easily, very by using just very simple techniques, it is very easier to us. Just go on calculating the quantity of RCC for any type of structure. I will go for the plastering. Okay. First of all, for plastering, here I will write it here as internal plastering. Internal plastering. The walls which are to be plastered internally are known as internal plastering. Okay. Inside the room or inside the bungalow or inside the house, the walls which are not directly exposed to the atmosphere are called as internal. Now actually we are going to first of all again find the numbers clustering room wise, and the number will remain 1 for total. Okay, now what we have to do here is, first of all we have to calculate the length. So the length will be, for room 1, 2 into the length is 5 meter, and the width is no doubt 4 meter. So 5 plus 4 is 9 into 2, it is the total length will be 18 meter for the room 1, and for the room 2 it will be how much? The 2 into 4 plus 4, 4 plus here again 4. So it will be 4 plus 4, 8 into 2. This will be 16 meter. Okay. So for the room 1, the length is 18 meter. I will write it here. 18. And the room 2, it is 16 meter. It is not nothing. See here, it is nothing but the internal perimeter of the rooms. What it is the internal perimeter of the rooms. The width we never write, because the plastering, here we directly mention the thickness of the plastering, and the height will be no doubt 3 meter for all these things. So here the answers will be like this. You have to calculate it. 18 into 3 will be 54, and 16 into 3 will be 48. 48. Okay. After this, what we are going to do is, we should calculate the external plastering also. What we have to do, we should calculate the external plastering also. So for that purpose, we have to find out the out to out dimensions. See here, external perimeter multiplied by the height. What I am saying, external parameter multiplied by the height will directly give us what it will give. It will directly give us the external perimeter into height will give external clustering. So 2 into, first of all here, how much it will be? It will be 9.9 meter. How this 9.9 meter came here? Very simple, 0.3 plus 5 plus 0.3 plus 4 plus 0.3. So 5 plus 4 and 3 times 0.3 will be 9.9 meter, whereas here it will be 4.6 meter. Why it is so? Because if we go for the short wall, 0.3 plus 4 plus 0.3 will be, how much it will be? 4.6 meter. So 4 plus 9.9 plus 4.6, 9.9 plus 4.6 into 2. 14.5 just multiplied by 2, because there are two walls each side. It will be again 29 meter, no doubt. The external remains constant. Here the total number will again take as 1 for the plastering, no doubt. Secondly, the length of the plastering, external, the total external perimeter is nothing but 29 meter, whereas the height of the plastering including the slab, I will take it as 3.12 meter. Okay, so how much will be the total? There will be a bit difference. I will calculate it in front so that it will be easier for you to calculation. 1 into 29 into 3.12. It is 90.48. How much it is? 90.48. 90.48 cubic meter. In this manner, we are going to find out the actual quantity of the plastering. These all things are in square meter because plastering is calculated in square meter. So let us find the total plastering. It is 54 plus 48 plus 90.48. It is 192.48. Here we are going to write 192.48. The total plastering without deduction is 192.48 square meter. Now here we have calculated the total plastering. Now we have to see what about the deductions. Okay, now again for the deduction, the same things are to be considered. Which are those? The deduction for doors as well as the deduction for windows. Here we are going to consider one side deduction. Why we are going to consider the one side deduction? If you see the total dimension of the door, it is 1 into 2.1, that is nothing but 2.1 square meter. It is greater than 0.5 square meter and less than 3 meter square. So one side deduction is allowed here. In the same way for the windows also, 1.5 is the length and 1.2 is the width of the window, height of the window, sorry. So length into height will give us 1.8 square meter, which is again greater than 0.5 meter and less than 3 square meter. So here again one side deduction is allowed from the total plastering. So what you have to do is, so the number of doors are 3, the length of the door is again 1 meter, whereas the height of the door is 2.1 meter as per the IS code. 3 into 2.1 will be 6.3 square meter. Here it is already shown. In the same way, there are 3 windows again. 3 into 1.5 is the length of the window and 1.20 is nothing but the total height of the window. So 3 into 1.5 will be 4.5. 4.5 into 1.2 will be 5.4. In this manner, the total reduction will be 6.3 plus 5.4. It will be 11.7 square meter. How much it will be? 11.7 square meter. In this way, very simply, we can just calculate these things. Okay. Now, what about the total net plastering? Net plastering will be total plastering minus deductions. So the plastering initially it is 192.48 square meter minus the deduction is 11.7. So how much will be the answer? The answer will be here equals to, just I will calculate it you in front of you so that it is very easily understood by you. 192.48 minus 11.7 square meter. It is 180.78 square meter. 180.78 square meter. In this manner, very easily we can calculate the quantity of plastering with the deductions. Okay, thank you very much. We'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture with the flooring and painting, etc.